Hola, my friends. How are you today? I hope you're all well. It is the 14th of February. Happy Valentine's Day. Are you celebrating? I haven't made any plans, but that doesn't mean I'm not celebrating anyway. Um, you know, it's love. It's an excuse to celebrate love. So this week on our socials, we are speaking about love. In particular, we're giving 3 tips for creating a phenomenal quality of love. And one of the reasons that I like to speak about love every so often on here is because, we're not really taught how to love. We watch a lot of movies about love, we hear stories about love. The beginning of love is typically quite easy because the chemistry is doing it for you. You're producing so much dopamine when you first fall in love. It makes you obsessive about the other person. It's easy to keep love exciting and stuff at the beginning. Over time, however, the dopamine wears off. You become less obsessive about the other person. The things that first attracted you start to irritate you. And it can become a bit complicated. So I just want to talk about it a little bit because, we learn so many things at school. And for some reason, we don't learn about love. And the thing is that in order to experience a high quality relationship, a phenomenal quality of love, like experience of love, we need to learn how to love. Loving doesn't just come naturally, believe it or not. Like in some situations it does, like when, like a mother gives birth, and again, not always, but for the most part, it's a very sort of natural experience. But keeping love alive in a long-term relationship is it's not something that just happens. You need to learn how to keep the relationship going. And so what I want to speak about is, first of all, I just want to give the tip that remember that there's no one size fits all to relationships, right? There's this sort of like cookie cutter version of relationships out there where it's like, okay, it's, we're like this, we're a couple and these are the rules, kind of, we're monogamous and we go see our parents and we have this many children and blah, 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 blah. When the truth is like, who came up with these rules for you, And when we go into relationships with a lot of expectations of ourselves, of our partners, those expectations blind us from being able to see each other. And when you can't see your partner, you're going to become very, very frustrated with them. And they're going to become very, very frustrated with you. You're going to end up very unhappy. So it's really, really important that we, right? Because I'm part of this too. Like I have all of this social conditioning within me as well. It's really, really important that we make sure that we continuously deconstruct the social conditioning, the social like rules that were put upon us, and make sure that we are living authentically, that we are creating a relationship that we really do want to create, and that we're communicating what we want and what we don't want. And that in order to communicate that, you need to understand that within yourself first. So you really need to like remove those expectations from yourself and really ask yourself, what do I want and what don't I want? What am I willing to create and what am I not willing to settle for? And even with communicating that to your partner, you also need to make sure that you open yourself up to listening compassionately to your partner about what they want and what they don't want. And it's only through that you will understand, one, whether your partner is really a good match for you and whether you are a good match for them. And also you'll understand how to go about creating this beautiful relationship. And so some of the things that you can discuss are things like, children. Do you want? Don't you want? How many do you want? Like, stuff like that. Monogamy. Monogamy is not for everyone, and if you want to have a monogamous relationship, how would you go about it? How would you take care of each other? How would you make sure that you keep the relationship as safe as possible so that you're continuously growing? Monogamy, having a non-monogamous relationship isn't a way to run away from the relationship, right? You need to make sure there's a lot of safety in order to have a relationship like that. Other rules are things like family, your extended family. How much time do you want to spend with them? How much do you want to allow them into your relationship? These kinds of things, it's a constant sort of discussion, negotiation. And in order to have these kinds of, potentially difficult conversations within your relationship, you need to make sure that the relationship is safe. So another tip that I want to give is appreciation goes a long way. people stay in relationships because of the quality of the relationship, because of the way the relationship feels. This doesn't only apply to romantic relationships. This applies to parent-child, parent-in-law, friendship, sister, all relationships. People stay in relationships because of how they feel. Now, if the relationship feels painful, people are going to avoid the relationship, right? So if there's a lot of criticism within the relationship, if there's a lot of name calling, if there is speaking about the other person behind the other person's back, if there is a lack of safety, people will avoid the relationship, right? So you need to make sure that you are dropping your expectations and trading them for appreciation, right? That you are expressing appreciation to your partner, that you're saying things like, thank you, I appreciate you, I love you, I see you, and not just saying it, but really meaning it, right? When your partner does something that really lights you up, tell them about it, say thank you, and also like rather than sort of, seeing the worst in your partner, right? Because like we all have our flaws and we all fuck up, but rather than like really highlighting their mistakes all the time, highlight what they do right, highlight what they do right, highlight what they're really good at, highlight the ways that they're there for you, and the ways that they rock. When you build on appreciation and celebration, what you have to celebrate about your relationship, you will just absolutely rock and roll. You create a beautiful quality of relationship. And when relationships feel good in that way, you want to keep coming back to them because they fill you up. When relationships are painful, they drain you. You want to avoid them. So make sure that your relationships always feel good. And in order for a relationship to feel good, you can't wait for your partner to make it feel good. Fuck that. Own responsibility and bring the goodness yourself. It's through bringing the goodness that, if you consistently bring the goodness, and your partner refuses to, then you have an issue. You might not be compatible, right? It might not be the right relationship for you. But if you consistently bring goodness and your partner vibes off that and brings their goodness too, and also sees their responsibility in bringing the goodness, then you have a phenomenal quality of relationship. My last and final tip is to choose your role models wisely. Do not take relationship advice from people who have a shitty quality of relationship. Only take relationship advice from people who have the kinds of relationships that you want to be in. From people who really enjoy their relationships, who you can see they genuinely love each other, and they love each other in a free way, not in a controlling, manipulative, you do this as I say or I'll be unhappy kind of way. Choose people who really inspire you to go above and beyond for your relationships. So guys, I hope you found this helpful. I'm wishing you a super Valentine's Day. If you want guidance with creating phenomenal quality of our relationships, that's what Lifestyle Strategy Sessions are for. Lifestyle Strategy Sessions are a combination of coaching and therapy. So you have the kick in the butt when you need it, and also the healing and the safe space and all of the goodness that needs to be there in order to grow. So if you want information about Lifestyle Strategy Sessions, just DM me or leave your email here and we will get back to you with information. You can have a complimentary call with me. I'll match you with the right strategist for you and you will absolutely rock and roll. I'm sending you so much love. I'm wishing you a wonderful Valentine's Day. Peace, and we'll speak soon. Bye.